In this lesson we are going to talk about functions again, but we will be going over their syntax in more detail. So the general layout for syntax of a function looks like this. The very first thing we have is either the type we're going to return, so remember functions can return things, or void if we don't want to return anything. Then we have the function name, and then we have all of our parameters. I'll abbreviate that with params. That's just another word for saying inputs. And then between these two curly brackets, we have the code that runs every time the function is called. And if we had a type up here, if we declared a type, then we would want to have a return value down here of the same type. Return value. And remember, this is only if we declared a type. If you said void, then you would not want a return value inside of your function. And let's talk a little bit about these parameters. These parameters are optional. But if you do say that it takes parameters, then you have to pass parameters to it every time you call it. And parameters have to have a type. So if you want to pass numbers to this function, you could say int x. That would allow you to pass one number to this function, int x. And then when you pass that number, you can refer back to that number that was passed in by its name x. And that name only exists within this function. So if I say print x, that will print out the input. But if I say x equals 10, then that 10 and that x only exist inside of this function, unless I return it. But if there was an x outside of this function, it would not change the value of that x, only this x. And that's the basic layout of a function. So let's code one in Arduino in the next video.